Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In this video, I'll try to solve practice problem 9.3 from Mr. Hyatt's book, and this is about parallel RLC circuit, and it is on the request of a student. So let's proceed. Okay, now let's see what is the practice problem saying. Determine the value or determine the current IR through the resistor. So this current IR through the resistor for t greater than 0 if IL0 is 6 ampere and VC0 plus is 0 volt. And we'll see what are those. This is IL. The configuration of the circuit prior to T0 is not known. So this is not very important. We'll just ignore it. Okay, and for my ease, I have redrawn this circuit in this manner. So this is more like a parallel RLC circuit. No difference though. Okay, let's build or recall a time constant. This is the 0 axis, time axis. Prior to T0, this is T less than 0 area. And if you just keep in mind a capacitor charging, then the capacitor will gradually charge. So this region is called the transient region. And after some time, the capacitor will fully charge and the circuit will get stabilized. So this is called the T infinity region. Two more points. What is T0 minus? Now T0 minus is just short of this point, 0 line, and maybe up to infinity minus all this. So primarily we look here, this is T0 minus, and just after 0 is the point T0 plus. Now this has a very important significance. We know that whatever is the inductor current IL at 0 minus, the same current will be at 0 plus, because the inductor current does not change instantaneously. Similarly, the capacitor voltage, whatever is the capacitor voltage at T0 minus, same voltage will be at T0 plus, because the capacitor voltage does not change instantaneously. Okay, now for T0 minus, our circuit, we are assuming that this circuit was stabilized for whatever was the supply given to it. And that means the inductor will be short circuit. We know inductor for DC becomes short circuit, and the capacitor for DC becomes open circuit, so this will become open circuit. This current is given IL0 minus 6 ampere, so we write this as a 6 ampere. This is IR0 minus, and this is VC0 minus, and its value is not given, so we'll just write it like this. Now we go to T0 plus at this point, just after. So although the inductor will no more remain short circuit, because now we are actually entering into the transient phase, but we are just at the beginning of it. So although the inductor is not short circuited, but the current through the inductor will not change. Whatever was at 0 minus, same current will remain. So this is 6 ampere. And in the question now is given that VC0 plus is 0 volt. So this voltage is 0 volt, that is voltage across the capacitor is 0 volt. So it is starting from 0 volt. Okay. What we are interested is in this region, in the transient region. And in the transient region, basically, we say that here T is equal to T in bracket, that is the transient region. That means the inductor current will be called IL T in bracket, this is IR T in bracket, and this is VC T in bracket. Now note that in some books, capacitor voltage is written as VC, and in some books it is just called V. So keep that point in mind. Okay, with this background, now we'll solve the question. As I mentioned, I follow a particular problem solving strategy. These are the 5 steps. The first is that we have to find V0 and I0 for t less than 0. Okay, so for t less than 0, V0 and I0, and we have just, it is given that I0 is 6 ampere for t less than 0, and V0 is not given 0 volt, but we know that V0 plus was given to be 0 volt. So that means if V0 plus was 0 volt, that means V0 minus has to be 0 volt, because the capacitor voltage cannot change instantaneously. So we found the first two. Then we have to find dV0 dt through KCL. Now let's see that. dV0 dt we can find through KCL by using this formula. The current through the capacitor IC is C dV dt. So we'll use the KCL formula. All three currents going down, so sum of all three is equal to 0. At t is equal to 0, this will become IL0, IR0 and IC0. And from here, this we can also write is I0. IR0 will be V0 over R. Now, as I mentioned you, this voltage across capacitor is VC or V0, V out. And same voltage is also across this point, and same voltage across this point. So since we are interested in this current IR, so we can say that IR is V0 divided by R, and this IC is C dV0 dt. And now plugging in the value, I0 or IL0 was given 6 ampere, so write 6. V0 is 0 volt, so 0 divided by 3, and C value is given 4 picos, so 4 into 10 raised to the power minus 12 dV0 dt. So from here we can calculate dV0 dt minus 6 divided by this, that is minus 1.5 10 raised to the power 12 volts per second. So we'll keep a note of this because we are going to use this value subsequently. Okay, the third step here is to find alpha and omega, and I'm sure you have read the theory from your book. The formula for alpha is 1 over 2 RC for the parallel RLC circuit. Plugging in the value, 2R is 3 and C is 4 10 raised to the power minus 12. So we get alpha 4.167 10 power 10. And similarly, omega naught is 1 over under root LC. And plugging in the value of L and C, this is 2 into 10 raised to the power 10. Now, in order to determine the type of damping, we have to, or to find the Vt equation, we have to compare alpha and omega. Now, these are the formulas given from the book, that if alpha is greater than omega, we'll use this formula for voltage. And if it is equal omega, this one, and if it is less than omega, this one. So in our case, this is applicable because alpha 4.16 is greater than 2. That means the circuit is overdamped, and we'll use this formula for voltage. Okay, so this is the formula we are going to use. Now, couple of unknowns here. We don't know what is A1 capital, A2 capital. We don't know what is S1 and S2. Now, S1 and S2 are the roots, characteristics roots, and the formula we'll pick from the book. These are the two formulas for S1 and S2. Now, plugging in the values from here, just I hope you can follow. This is the value of alpha, alpha square minus omega square. So this is S1, and similarly S2. This value is for S2. And so, putting in the value of S1 and S2 and this voltage equation, so this is our general equation for the voltage. Now still A1 and A2 is unknown. although the question has asked us to find IR, but we have to first of all find the voltage VC or VT. So that is why we are using this technique or this method. Okay, and finally, to find A1 and A2, it is a two-step process. First of all, we find the value at t is equal to 0. So t0, this will be 0. This whole thing will become 0. E raised to the power 0 is equal to 1. So it will be just A1. Similarly, e raised to the power this t0 will be 1, so it is A2. So this is one equation. And now if we put the value of VC0 is 0 volt. So putting 0, this is one of the equations, that alpha 1 or A1 is equal to minus A2. We need another equation to find these variables. So we differentiate this equation. Differentiating this equation with respect to t, we get this value. I hope you can follow. And here also we put t is equal to 0. So at t is equal to 0, again this will become 1, this will become 1. So this term into alpha minus second term into alpha A2. And now we will use this value that we had calculated earlier. So if you recall, this was the value we had calculated earlier, dV0. So we'll plug in that value here. So this is our second equation. Now this equation will put the value of A1 from here. So putting the value of A1 is equal to minus A2, we can solve for A2. So this, and then finally A2 will be 20.514. So we have found A2. Now A1 is just minus of this. So A1 is minus A2. So this is A1. So now we have got all the variables. So let's write the final equation. Okay, so we had find the two values of A1 and A2. We'll plug in this value in the voltage equation. So plugging in and simplifying, we get this to be the final value of Vt. So we have found Vt, but the question is asking for IR. So from here, you know, IR is Vt, which is also here same voltage divided by the resistance 3. So IRT is Vt over 3. We know Vt and we have 3. So dividing 2514 by 3, actually this one by 3. So this is our final answer. Now I spent a couple of days because my answer was not matching the answer given in the book. The answer given in the book is this answer, 2.437. So after trying a couple of times, I thought why not to look for the errata of the book. Unfortunately, there was errata available. So this is errata, and in the errata, the correct answer is 6.838 in this term. So our answer is also 6.838. So this is the correct answer. So I hope you have learned how to solve the parallel RLC circuits problem. Thank you.